and welcome back. Yeah, dressed up for the occasion. It's been a little while since you've seen me, so maybe I need to put a little effort forward. Seem a little more professional. So, yeah, welcome back to the garage. We're not going to talk about anything going on in the world outside the garage. That's the rules. So, what recent news I want to share with you is this. This is called physical media. This is a Blu-ray. However, what's important is the title of this Blu-ray. It's a feature film called Hunting for Fish. And what is that, you might ask? Well, it's a film that I was a part of. And my now really good friend, Lance Lucero, wrote, produced, and directed this. And it was shot back in 1996. And that's how I met him. I came on to the production as like a production assistant, because I was like kind of curious about film back then. Anyway, this is significant because Lance made this entire feature film himself. He wrote, produced, and directed it, and he had a very small crew that helped him do an extraordinary job of capturing it, and he had some really fun and interesting actors on it. And I got cast in like a small role in the opening scene, but I have hair in the scene, so you might not recognize me. But what's important about this is he shot this on film, 16 millimeter film, back then, and even just shooting a feature film on like your stupid iPhone, that is a crap ton of work. To do it on film is extraordinary. And so Lance's film Hunting for Fish is now just recently he got on to Amazon. Maybe it's Amazon Prime, I don't know, but it's on there for rental now, so that everyone can see it. And it's like $2.99 to rent it. And the film is essentially a heist caper film, and it's so incredibly fun and watchable, and it's just enjoyable to see. Like this is art, really, because art is, when you think about it, no matter what medium it is, painting, sculpture, it's all, the best artist is all typically one person's vision from beginning to end. And yes, huge big budget movies can absolutely be art. Even, there's having armies of people working together, but it has to be one person's strong viewpoint in time, in a creative way, telling a story or giving meaning to something that people can take in. And that's hugely important nowadays, because so much of everything that's pushed out at us is just weird content crap. And this is not content by any stretch of the imagination. And it's this guy, and it's his first feature, and it looks amazing. And it's fun. So if you want to have a good time, rent Hunting for Fish. I'll include the little clicky thing in the description, so you can check it out, and you can watch the trailer for it, and and hopefully you enjoy it as much as I enjoy being a part of it. Uh, but yeah, it's pretty huge when one of us little people are able to uh, break through and get our stuff shown to a wider audience. And so I hope everyone gets a chance to see it and enjoy it. Yeah, I'm still working on my feature film, and it's coming along. It's tough. It's tough. There's so much to do, and I'm still working on getting all the music done for it. Uh, but all the editing is pretty much done, and we're still doing like a couple more voiceovers. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get that out this year. I mean, it'll absolutely be out this year, but yeah, and I need to. And Lance was on my back. He's like, dude, you need to cut a trailer together so you can share it with people and they can get excited about it and see what you're doing. And so yes, I'll do it. One more thing to do, but no, once I do it, I'm sure I'll enjoy doing it. So anyway, here we are back in the garage, and what have I been up to in here, you ask? Well, let's do this. So one of the things that I did get, which I just I recommend that you guys maybe consider, you guys that like old cars. I did get some Jeep, headlights for the little Fiat 128. And I had heard about a deal on, I don't know, various websites or, and it was about how Toyota was offering brand new H4 headlight conversions to convert, the old sealed beam to the removable bulb, replaceable bulb H4 headlights. And they're not the domey, super old style domey ones. They're kind of a little bit more flat faced. The thing about this though, and these are sort of, I guess, a retrofit for the Land Cruisers. For the old style Land Cruisers, where they all had sealed beam headlights. And I don't know if Toyota set up a deal with was it Koito, and they just got way too many, like hundreds of thousands of too many. But this was $20. $20 at the dealership. You order it. I went down to the dealership, and it's a whole conversion kit with wiring, zip ties, 2 brand new glass headlights with bulbs. $20. You can't even get the bulbs for $20. And I don't know, maybe they're just trying to get rid of all this overstock that they have. And it's all just packaged amazingly. And Toyota sends us like this little, this polite little letter with it saying, "Dear customers, thank you for buying the Toyota brand part." It says, and they apologize for any inconvenience that this product change may cause you and sincerely appreciate your understanding by not being able to access the old sealed beam headlights. When I went down to the Toyota dealership locally and went to pick it up, the people behind the counter were just freaking out. They were like, "This was $20? Nothing we sell is $20 anymore." I don't even think they probably sell a pack of zip ties down there for $20. So, I mean, really, get it while you can if you want. Yeah, it's headlamp assembly. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you a little close-up of it. 81110-60P70. It's worth it. It's worth it just to have the option, I think. So, yeah, that was cheap. one of the things, I don't know if you noticed anything different about the Lancia. Um, there's this fella right here. Maybe we should take a little tour. This was an air dam. I went to a uh, estate sale uh, that was for a gentleman in the community, Fiat and Lancia community, called Tom McGaffigan. And apparently he was an inventor as well, and he has, I guess, a number of patents to his name. Um, and so yeah, I got that nose band that kind of goes over the top of the front of the grill, and I picked up this air dam, and I think it's not perfectly made. It is obviously like a homemade thing if you look at like the insides of it, but on the outsides it's kind of impressively built and designed. It is at in this setup right now a little kind of snow plow looking. I think it was probably built for a race car.
I initially thought, I don't know, maybe I kind of want to cut this back. But after staring at it and just kind of how it sits on the car, it does have a little bit of a Mad Max kind of look to it. And I don't know, maybe it'll work out.
So, in honor of Tom and his construction of this air dam, this is now going to be called the McGaffa Dam. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, right. Another thing that I'm going to take you over and show you is the brakes that I got for the Scorpion to kind of upgrade them to more modern components were from I bought them new. They were for a Fiat 500 Abarth. And so you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but like these red big calipers. And I forgot the piston size for these. I think they're like 50 something for the front calipers. So bigger front calipers and brand new like rear calipers for the rear. But I wasn't thinking too great about it, about dynamics and things like that, because the Lancia Scorpion originally had 38 millimeter diameter pistons for the calipers in back, and the Fiat 500 Abarth, those rear calipers have 34 millimeter pistons, and so they're 4 millimeters smaller. You don't think that's going to be a big difference, but when you measure the area of a circle, which is what the piston size with the that's what really matters, is the area of the piston that the fluid moves. It's a big difference. It's area equals pi r squared, and so going to a smaller rear piston was not going to help the stopping power of this car. So I've read a lot of talk about it, and ideally for like a mid-engine car like this, you almost want to have an equal sized or at least a considerably upsized rear brake, partly because the mass of the car, even though it's mid-engine, there's still a lot of mass back here that can help brake. And yes, there's a weight transfer towards the front when you brake. So I was thinking I need to increase the piston size, the caliper size for the rear brakes. And what I found was these are from an Audi A4 or A5 or something like that. And these have 43 millimeter pistons. And so essentially I'm increasing the braking area of the piston. It's going up from essentially about 1,000 centimeters or millimeters up to, what is it called? About 1,500 cubic millimeters, whatever. Anyway, it's basically 50% larger in the area of the piston, and so it's going to be a lot more powerful of a brake caliper. And what I was thinking when I got it, because I knew that it was an electronic e-brake, I was thinking possibly I could swap over the guts from the Fiat 500 rear brake calipers so that I could maintain like a manual lever for the emergency brake. But the more I'm playing around with this stuff, kind of the more I'm looking at it and going, yeah, no, probably just running electronic e-brake on this is going to be the way to go.
Okay, so on the caliper bracket, you can see how I used an angle grinder to basically mill out a clearance notch on the bracket itself. So we take it over to the old school Prentice vise, and I'm going to just mount up a spare Fiat X19 knuckle hub assembly. It's basically oriented 90 degrees from vertical so that it's just easier to place the caliper on the knuckle or hub or whatever the hell it's called. And so, yeah, it's a much larger brake caliper and bracket than what the hub was essentially originally designed for. So we needed to create some clearance allowance so that the caliper sits low enough on the rotor to make full contact with the pads. And you can see how it kind of puzzle pieces together, and I need to make a custom adapter to bolt both halves together. But it centers nicely on the bracket that way.
So anyway, yeah, and what it allows for is, yeah, here's the Fiat 500 rear pad, and that's the Audi pad. It's about double the size. So, and that's going to make better contact with the rear rotors that I have. So, yeah, and also on a really light vehicle like this, yeah, this car is going to be easily half a ton lighter than the car that these came off of. So, yeah, it should all be all copacetic. Anyway, yeah, let's take a tour of the Fiat 500, and not the Fiat 500, the Fiat 128, and I can show you what I've been doing on that. So here we are at the Fiat 128, and so I finally found a radiator that I think might work with this car. It was a gentleman, he got it when he got some British car or whatever, and he said, yeah, just wasn't going to work out for him. So I got it, relatively cheap. In this world, $100 is a deal, so that qualifies. And this is a pretty dinky little radiator, but it's more than big enough for this car. It is going to require a little bit of modification and everything to get it fitting right, because it's tight. All right, here's a little bit better. Come on. Reveal of kind of how tight everything is behind this engine. So yeah, fun stuff. And who knows, perhaps I'm not going about it the right way, but that's all the process. That's basically the whole point of all this stuff, is to figure out how to do it wrong and then do it better. So So yeah, that's kind of there just while I'm trying to noodle about. I need to weld on some like an elbow for the return, so that that kind of sneaks along the back of it, and figure out where and how I'm going to mount it. But yeah, so there's a little bit of progress there. And let's move to the back. Okay, so I had taken the fuel tank out in earlier videos, and I kind of modded it, and then I have been working on uh, adapting the Honda fuel filler and everything to the Fiat tank. And so it's required some welding and fabrication work. Let's see if I can show you this on the camera. All right. All right, is this completely blown out? Turn that down. All right, so yeah, this is kind of mounted in the fuel filler location. I need to move it a little bit. So it's not exactly perfect. And this is a elbow from a piece of motorcycle exhaust tubing. And it was about, roughly the same, diameter and everything like that as I needed. But yeah, needed something to kind of go down and meet the filler. And the Honda Fit fuel tank, its filler was like almost 2 feet vertically and 5 feet long, because the fuel tank is mounted underneath the driver and passenger front seats. So it is really centrally located. And yeah, so this has been a nice little adventure. Let me turn up the brightness on this so you can see what's going on in here. Right, okay, so there we go. Had to cut an opening in the floor of the trunk area for the fuel tank. And I'm going to have to, I guess, add to that. There's the little breather thing that's right here that I need to cut and extend into. But yeah, so that's going to fit there. And the pump assembly and everything is going to fit right here. So it's going to be a little bit higher than that. And that's completely fine, because really there's no space underneath the vehicle to mount this evaporative canister. And this is, this is kind of what also makes all the ECU stuff happy as far as the fuel system. So this is the evaporative canister. It's all filled with activated carbon, and there's like little valves in it that the ECU controls depending on I guess how the engine feels. And this is it's like a purge filter that when the valve is open or if pressure builds up or whatever, it kind of expels fumes from the evaporative canister to the outside air. And all this stuff is basically going to be mounted kind of on this side of the trunk. And there's going to be a sealed, probably there's going to be a plywood deck lid top over the top of all this, and that's going to protect it. It's going to be sealed from the rest of the cabin, so as no fumes or anything that any of this stuff could possibly create are going to be allowed into the cabin. So it's going to be basically a false floor on top of all this stuff, and it's going to it'll reduce cargo capacity a little bit, but it's not going to be horrible. But yeah, I'm going to also
kind of maybe vent this area a little bit so that air can be exchanged inside this little, capsule area of fuel stuff fairly easily. So yeah, I've almost got that nailed down as far as everything's placement, and need to start cutting into that. And oh yeah, also one other recent thing that I've been doing, I'll take you to the inside of the passenger compartment of the Fiat. All right, so got some shifter cables. There's like the Honda Fit console. I'm kind of positioned it around the parking brake, and yeah, I think that's going to work out really well. But I've been working on the clutch mounting, and so let's show you a quick thing about that. All right, so this is kind of crazy. This is just some pieces of square rod that I slowly nibbled away because I was trying to figure out what the actual, the correct distance was for all this to, space the clutch pedal so that it falls roughly in line with the brake pedal. And this is kind of what I came up with. So I need to create sort of a welded assembly that's rigid that I can bolt and unbolt to this that will allow me to mount this in the correct position. So yay, there's a little bit of actual fabrication progress there. So if you get a chance, check out Hunting for Fish. I don't think you'll regret it. And yeah, this world is crazy. I don't know what to think. All I know is I'm just going to try and be the best person that I can be. Try to help whoever I can help. With whatever talents that I have, and just be as present as possible. I know I'm not alone in wanting to build a better world. One where people cooperate with each other and not one where people are divided and conquered. So I love you guys. And if you're feeling kind of dark and alone, thinking that, shit's gone to hell in a handbasket, I understand that. And sometimes I feel that way too. But you're not alone. And it's really important for us to keep reaching out to each other and saying, hey, I believe we can do better, and I'm here for it. And I guess we got to keep showing up. Anyway, that's it. Again, I love you guys. And go check out a movie, and I don't know, catch you on the flip side.